Hi, can you please state your name?
Sven Bernas.
Where you're from?
Czech.
Originally, and you're here on Denmark for what?
I'm here to study.
State.
Originally, yes.
What kind of Satanist are you?
I'm a philosophical Satanist.
Okay, and how do you define that?
So, from philosophical point of view, it will be an extreme form of individualism.
All right. So what is Satanism for you, personally?
For me, it's the way of living according to certain set values that I adhere to.
All right. In what form? What kind of values?
So if we go down to the values, it will be very close on the verge of agnosticism, that we cannot make sure by empirical form that the reality we live in is confirmed. We know that according to our senses there is an outside world, and we also know that the senses that we perceive the world through, they make sure they are full. Doesn't mean it's our vision, doesn't mean it's our senses, smell. Everything is made sure that the brain conceives it first, and there's always a filter to perceive the reality through. That also makes that if you see the reality as you do, for instance, that we see these glasses as cans of a green color and they are cold, this is how we perceive them. But there is no empirical truth to make sure that this is how we feel it. And the way I feel about this beer, this can and the liquid in it, is not the same as you see it. It's not the same as you feel it. And there is no way we can make sure to understand each other fully. And this is the way of extreme individualism in the Satanism on its own.
All right. So Satan isn't a part of your religion.
So it is not a religion, no.
Okay.
There is a big difference between a religion and then the philosophy. The philosophy works without the form of a god, or let's say a third interstellar persona, whatever. It is not present in the philosophy. In the philosophy, the Satan is substituted with the word human.
All right.
In the philosophy, the god itself is the person itself. That's why it's an extreme form of individualism, because the highest form of creature, or let's say the only creature there is empirically, there is confirmed, is you on your own.
So if you had to present yourself in what you believe in, how would you present yourself?
It would be what I believe in. It would be, I do not believe in anything there could be anything higher. That's why it's partially agnosticism.
Mm-hmm.
Because there could be something higher than me. That's fair enough. I cannot know it. There is no empirical evidence that it is right now. But the only thing I can say for my own, which is 100% truth, is that I know I am. So for me, I am the person I'm concerned with when it comes to my own life. And then comes the religion, Satanism, which works with the third person of a, let's say, God, which is the Satan, which is, as we know, the right hand up, left hand down, which is left hand, the right hand and the left hand way. And that's absolutely different thing. For the philosophical way, we differ from one another. The philosophical ones, we do not have any church, we do not have a religion, we are not centralized, we don't have any centralized power, nothing to bind us together. But the religious ones, they do. It is a religion officially, they do have a church, they do have a structure and organization. And they do believe in a third persona or an entity that transcribes us, that is higher than us, and they believe in that.
So, do you set yourself before others?
It is no. We do have a book. It's called the Satanistic Bible, called by LaVey in the around 60s, but don't quote me on that. Please put a right reference on that, when it was created officially. But we do have a book. It's called the Satanistic Bible. It's composed of 4 different books in its own, and there's also the differentiation between philosophy and religion. And we have values there Uh, Partially, we have the same values as Christians, the 10 sins or the 10 major rules for Christians.
Mm-hmm.
Many of them are also for us, no matter if you are philosophical or religious, and we do not set ourselves above each other. For philosophical Satanists, there is no concept as me, you together.
Mm-hmm.
It is different worlds, which means that because I cannot make sure that you are true, you are real or not real, it makes the only thing I can do to make sure that we are on a good spot is that I will not do to you what I do not want you to do to me.
Yeah.
Unless there is a consent.
So it's kind of like in Danish, næste kærlighed, like love thy other.
I think you'd say that, yes.
Yeah.
Unless there's a consent, which works mainly for, let's say, intimate reasons.
Yeah.
Then we do not do the other ones which we don't want others to do to us.
Yeah. Great.
Which also, by the way, means that if the other ones do something to us which we don't want to be done, we do the same to them.
All right.
So this is what difference there. It is a bit of a difference between, for instance, us and the Christians, because the Christians will just, if someone slaps you, you show the other cheek.
Mm.
We don't do that. We make sure that you get slapped back.
What made you interested in philosophical Satanism?
It was probably in high school when we had some lectures on religion and philosophy on its own, and I was looking for a religion or a philosophy on my own. Very soon after, I found out that no religion would be satisfactory for me, because I was looking for something that I could adhere my life to with having some empiria in it, which means that I want to make sure that whatever I'm doing has a sense and I can prove it makes sense, which none of the major religions made. And then that's why I'm not religious whatsoever, because a third entity that is somewhere superior to us, which we cannot sense, is not really close to me. And then I went to philosophy, and I was discovering very different philosophies, and that's how I got to that one on its own.
Do you feel any negative stigma about your religion?
Yes, there definitely is, and it's because the philosophy and religion shares the same name, which is Satanism. And there is unfortunately very bad history connected with the religious Satanists, and there is very bad historical context which comes from Christian religion towards the whole persona of Satan, which is very different perceived with objective history and religious history, also with Christianity and stuff.
Do you have anything that kind of shows your belief?
I do have sort of. I do have a tattoo, which points towards the direction, but on its own, it is still in Christian and partially pagan lore.
All right, thank you. Would you maybe want to show the tattoo, or is it on your arms, or?
I have a short one on my arm, but maybe it's going to be visible on the video. But if not, it's called the Leviathan Cross.
Oh, is it?
And yes, is this one on my forearm. And for us, it's so. The story behind it is that it's a combination of both Christian, let's say, Satanistic, and a pagan lore as well. It's combined of two parts. There is the symbol for infinity, which represents the infinity on its own, as well as the Nordic lore. There is the snake that goes through the entirety of the world, which was the son of Loki.
Yeah.
Yes. Christians took it over. And then the other part is the cross its own, because this snake was the first victim of the god, which was killed, and that's where, by the Christian law, humans got the skin out of. So the god killed the snake, took its skin, and created skin for people. And one of the first Satanists took this one just to show that the god is not everlasting good person in the world, because first of all, it cannot be omnipresent, which goes way back to the ancient Greece philosophy. But it is not only good, because God kills not only humans but animals as well. It committed many crimes, not only against its own rules that he set up for humans, but against himself, as it was in the Bible. And Satanists, the original ones, were only pointing out this contrast between what was said and what was done. So that kind of became the symbol of a god, the symbol of Satanists. Contrary to common belief, many people believe that a goat is symbol for Satan. It is not. We kind of like it just because it's cool. I will say that. Partially because it's cool, partially because it goes way back in history before Satan was ever invented, and partially because it inheres the witch 5-star in it.
Yeah.
Which is done, if you have the goat, there is ears, there is face, and there is the goat, 5 stars. But it was never connected with us. We have nothing to do with it, and it was by the first Christians that done it in the ancient Greece.
Do you maybe, personally for you, do you enemize God?
Oh, no. So, funny thing is, if you go to philosophy on its own, there is no God. And if there was ever be a God, it would have to be the person on its own, because you cannot prove the existence of anything else than yourself. So if anyone would be working with the existence or the entity of a god, it would have to be yourself,